transcendental realm and has no association with his mundane potency. Do I read the purport too? No. Oh. Text 7. Krishna never consorts with his illusory energy. Still, her connection is not entirely cut off from the absolute truth. When he intends to create the material world, the amorous pastime, in which he engages by consorting with his own spiritual potency, Ram, by casting his glance at the diluting energy in the shape of sending his time energy, is an auxiliary activity. Text 8. The secondary process of association with Maya is described. Rama Devi, the spiritual potency, beloved consort of the Supreme Lord, is the regulatrix of all entities. The divine plenary portion of Krishna creates the mundane world. At creation, there appears a divine halo of the nature of his own subjective portion. This halo is divine Sambhu, the masculine symbol or manifested emblem of the Supreme Lord. This halo is the dim twilight reflection of the supreme eternal effulgence. This masculine symbol is the subjective portion of divinity who functions as progenitor of the material world, subject to the supreme regulatrix. The conceiving potency in regard to mundane creation makes her appearance out of the supreme regulatrix. She is Maya, the limited, non-absolute potency, the symbol of mundane feminine productivity. The intercourse of these two brings forth the faculty of perverted cognition, the reflection of the seed of the procreative desire of the Supreme Lord. Text 9. All offspring of the consort of the great Lord Maheshvara of this mundane world are of the nature of the embodiment of the mundane masculine and feminine generative organs. Text 10. The person embodying the material cause principle, viz. The great Lord of the mundane world, Maheshvara Sambhu, in the form of the male generating organ, is joined to his female consort, the limited energy, Maya, as the efficient casual principle. The Lord of the world, Mahavishnu, is manifest in him by his subjective portion in the form of his glance.
The Lord of the mundane world, Mahavishnu, possesses thousands of heads, eyes, hands. He is the source of thousands of avatars in his thousands of subjective portions. He is the creator of thousands of individual souls. The same Mahavishnu is spoken of by the name of Narayana in this mundane world. From that eternal person has sprung the vast expanse of water of the spiritual causal ocean. The subjective portion of Sankarshana, who abides in Paravyoma, the above Supreme Purusha, with thousands of subjective portions, reposes in the state of divine sleep, Yoga Nidra, in the waters of the spiritual causal ocean. The spiritual seeds of Sankarshana, existing in the pores of skin of Mahavishnu, are born as so many golden sperms. These sperms are covered with the 5 great elements. The same Mahavishnu entered into each universe as his own separative subjective portions. The divine portions that entered into each universe are possessed of its majestic extension. That is, they are the eternal universal soul, Mahavishnu, possessing thousands of heads. The same Mahavishnu created Vishnu from his left limb, Brahma, the first progenitor of beings, from his right limb, and from the space between his 2 eyebrows, Shambhu, the divine masculine manifested halo.
The function of Shambhu in relation to the jivas is that this universe, enshrining the mundane egotistic principle, has originated from Shambhu. Thereupon, the same great personal Godhead, assuming the threefold forms of Vishnu, Prajapati, and Shambhu, entering into the mundane universe, plays the pastimes of preservation, creation, and destruction of this world. This pastime is contained in the mundane world. Hence, it being perverted, the Supreme Lord, identical with Mahavishnu, prefers to consort with the goddess Yoga Nidra, the constituent of his own spiritual potency, full of the ecstatic trance of eternal bliss appertaining to his own divine personality. When Vishnu, lying in the ocean of milk, wills to create this universe, a golden lotus springs from his navel pit. The golden lotus with its stems in the abode of Brahma, representing Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. Before their conglomeration, the primary elements in their nascent state remained originally separate entities. Non-application of the conglomerating process is the cause of their separate existence. Divine Mahavishnu, primal Godhead, through association with his own spiritual potency, moved Maya, and by the application of the conglomerating principle created those different entities in their state of cooperation. And after that he himself consorted with Yoga Nidra by way of his eternal dalliance with his spiritual potency. By conglomerating all those separate entities, he manifested the innumerable mundane universes and himself entered into the inmost recess of every extended conglomerate, Virad Vigraha. At that time, those jivas who had lain dormant during the cataclysm were awakened.
The same jiva is eternal and is for eternity and without a beginning, joined to the Supreme Lord by the tie of an eternal kingship. He is transcendental spiritual potency. The divine lotus which springs from the navel pit of Vishnu is in every way related by the spiritual tie with all souls and is the origin of four-faced Brahma, versed in the four Vedas. On coming out of the lotus, Brahma, being guided by the divine potency, turned his mind to the act of creation under the impulse of previous impressions, but he could see nothing but darkness in every direction. Then the goddess of learning Saraswati, the divine consort of Supreme Lord, said thus to Brahma, who saw nothing but gloom in all directions, O Brahma, this mantra, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, will assuredly fulfill your heart's desire. O Brahma, do thou practice spiritual association by means of this mantra, and all your desires will be fulfilled.
Brahma, being desirous of satisfying Govinda, practiced the cultural acts for Krishna in Goloka, Lord of Shvetadvipa, for a long time. His meditation ran thus: there exists a divine lotus of 1,000 petals, augmented by millions of filaments, in the transcendental land of Goloka. On its whirl, there exists a great divine throne on which is seated Sri Krishna, the form of eternal effulgence of transcendental bliss, playing on his divine flute, resonant with the divine sound with his lotus mouth. He is worshipped by his amorous milkmaids with their respective subjective portions and extensions, and also by his external energy, who stays outside, embodying all mundane qualities. Then Gayatri, mother of the Vedas, being made manifest, imparted by the divine sound of the flute of Sri Krishna, entered into the lotus mouth of Brahma, born from himself through his 8 ear holes. The lotus-born Brahma, having received the Gayatri sprung from the flute song of Sri Krishna, attained the status of the twice-born, having been initiated by the supreme primal preceptor, Godhead himself. Enlightened by the recollection of that Gayatri embodying the 3 Vedas, Brahma became acquainted with the expanse of the ocean of truth. Then he worshipped Sri Krishna, the essence of all Vedas, with this hymn: I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desire in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, around whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers, beautified with the moon locket, whose 2 hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form of Shyamasundara is eternally manifested. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth, substantiality, and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs, and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas, but obtainable by pure unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, he is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha, yet he is a person possessing the beauty of the blooming youth. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis, who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane extending over thousands of millions of years. He is an undifferentiated entity, as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him, and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one time and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra shuktas told by the Vedas, by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities, in the company of her confidants, Shakis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa. Mm, 74. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is Shamshunda, Krishna himself, with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion tinged with the salve of love. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna in the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose effulgence is the source of the non-differentiated Brahman mentioned in the Upanishads, being differentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe, appears as the indivisible, infinite, limitless truth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is the absolute, substantive principle, being the ultimate entity in the form of the support of all existence, whose external potency embodies the threefold mundane qualities, with sattva, rajas, and tamas, and diffuses the Vedic knowledge regarding the mundane world. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose glory ever triumphantly dominates the mundane world by the activity of his own pastimes, being reflected in the mind of recollecting souls as a transcendental entity of ever blissful cognitive rasa. Lowest of all is located Devi Dhama, mundane world. Next above it is Mahesh Dhama, abode of Mahesha. Above Mahesh Dhama is placed Hari Dhama, abode of Hari, and above them all is located Krishna's own realm named Goloka. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who has allotted the respective authorities to the rulers of those graded realms. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving and destroying agency of this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. Just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect curd is neither the same as nor different from its cause with milk, so I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction.
The light of one candle being communicated to other candles, although it burns separately in them, is the same in its quality. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who exhibits himself equally in the same mobile manner in his various manifestations. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who, assuming his own great subjective form, who bears the name of Shesha, replete with the all-accommodating potency and reposing in the causal ocean with the infinity of the world in the pores of his hair, enjoys creative sleep, Yoga Nidra. Brahma and other lords of the mundane worlds, appearing from the pores of hair of Mahavishnu, remain alive as long as the duration of one exhalation of the latter, Mahavishnu. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whose subjective personality Mahavishnu is the portion of portion. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, from whom the separated subjective portion Brahma receives his power for the regulation of the mundane world, just as the sun manifests some portion of his own light in all the effulgent gems that bear the names of Suryakanta. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesha upon the pair of tumuli protruding from his elephant head in order to obtain power for his function of destroying all the obstacles on the path of progress of the three worlds.
The three worlds are composed of the 9 elements, which fire, earth, ether, water, air, direction, time, soul and mind. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, from whom they originate, in whom they exist, and into whom they enter at the time of the universal cataclysm. The sun, who is the king of all the planets, full of infinite effulgence, the image of the good soul, is as the eye of this world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in pursuance of whose order the sun performs his journey, mounting the wheel of time. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, by whose conferred power are maintained the manifested potencies that are found to exist of all virtues, all vices, the Vedas, the penances, and all the jivas from Brahma to the meanest insect. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who burns up to their roots all fruitive activities of those who are imbued with devotion and impartially ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruits of one's activities, of all those who walk in the path of work in accordance with the chain of the previously performed works, no less in the case of the tiny insect that bears the name of Indragopa than in that of Indra, the king of the Devas. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, the meditators of whom, by meditating upon him under the sway of wrath, amorous passion, natural friendly love, fear, parental affection, delusion, reverence, and willing service, attain to the bodily forms befitting the nature of their contemplation.
I worship that transcendental seat known as Shvetadvipa, whereas loving consorts of the Lakshmis in their unalloyed spiritual essence practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover, where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where the soil is the purpose gem, all water is nectar, every word is a song, every gait is a dance, the flute is the favorite attendant, effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and the supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty, where numberless milk cows always emit transcendental oceans of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, who is ever present and without past or future, and hence is not subject to the quality of passing away even for the space of half a moment. That realm is known as Goloka only to a very few self-realized souls in this world. On hearing these hymns containing the essence of the truth, the Supreme Lord Krishna said to Rama, Brahma, if you experience the inclination to create offspring by being endowed with the real knowledge of the glory of Godhead, listen, my beloved, from me to this sign set forth in the following 5 shlokas. When the pure spiritual experience is excited by means of cognition and service, bhakti, super excellent unalloyed devotion characterized by love for Godhead, is awakened toward Krishna, the beloved of all souls. The highest devotion is attained by slow degrees by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization with the help of scriptural evidence, theistic conduct, and perseverance in practice. These preliminary practices of devotion, sharana, bhakti, are conducive to the realization of loving devotion, than whom there is no superior well-being, who goes hand in hand with the attainment of the exclusive state of supreme bliss, and who can lead to myself.
Abandoning all meritorious performances, serve me with faith. The realization will correspond to the nature of one's faith. The people of the world act ceaselessly in pursuance of some ideal. By meditating on me by means of those deeds, one will obtain devotion characterized by love in the shape of the supreme service. Listen, O Vidhi, I am the seed, the fundamental principle of this world of animate and inanimate objects. I am Pradhan, the substance of matter. I am Prakriti, material cause, and I am Purusha, efficient cause. This fiery energy that belongs specially to the Brahman that inheres in you has also been conferred by me. It is by bearing this fiery energy that you regulate this phenomenal world of animate and inanimate objects.
So I'd like to greet everybody that's like to greet everybody that's here online today and mention that actually our whole process of bhakti is a process of begging and abhyasana, application. If you're ready to apply something, no taga at all, zero. No taga at all. If you're ready to apply something, what do you apply? You apply what you have faith in. If you're not ready to apply something practically, it means you have no faith in it. So, and another thing is, our process of bhakti is a process of begging. The more you beg, the more you get. You're not getting it? Beg a little more. That's all. One devotee who was a computer expert, hacker cracker, in Bratislava, Slovenia.
Could you move that microphone down in front of his mouth?
He told me that he's chanting Tulsi Kavacha for 40 days, mandala. And I didn't get what I wanted. And then I says, oh, you have to beg a little bit more. Sometimes Krishna ignores his devotee. It's stated in 10th Canto, chapter 32, verse 20, that when the gopis, when they came back in the reunion, they tried to put Krishna in a corner. Now, Krishna is a very smart fellow, very clever fellow. He's not going to be put into a corner by anybody, by even his dearest devotees, the gopis, or devotees like that, devotees like them. So they said, tell us the nature of friendship. So Krishna said there are three kinds of friends. One friend is if you're my friend, I'm your friend. Then the well-wishing parents, they could care less if the child loves them or not. They're still well-wishers of the child. Or the Atmaramas, they're self-satisfied. They could care less if somebody loves them or not. Like this. And the gopis asked, well, which one are you? And Krishna says, we do all three. And then, that was Sloka 19. Then in 20, he gets to the bottom line. But the main reason why I don't reciprocate the love of somebody who serves me, O gopis, is that I want to increase their love. They become just like a person who had some money and lost it and can think about that lost money again and again. So we misplace something, and, like, for example, your car keys, for example, something like that, and retrace your steps. Ask your friends, like this. Have you seen my car keys? And then, oh God, it's in my pocket, And Krishna is the source of, in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, the source of remembrance, knowledge, and forgiveness. Don't forget me. So Krishna, if by Krishna's will, if you misplace something, then it just simply means we have to beg Krishna or the personality of Godhead in his various forms, whoever your Ishtadeva is. And if they're pleased, they'll give it to you. And you're not getting it? Beg a little bit more. That's all. We should always understand that Krishna is not interested in what you give him. He wants what's behind your back. When you start to give that, then he becomes very friendly. And he helps us. So, the Supreme Personality of Godhead always helps his devotee out. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 11, states that out of compassion for them, I, dwelling with their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So, Prabhupada says in his purport, even if a person has no time to read the instructions of the spiritual master, the books of the spiritual master, instructions of the spiritual master, or associate with devotees, but if their heart is sincere, then Krishna will not allow ignorance to remain in the heart of the devotee. Krishna will personally give. So it's a question of greed. Necessity is the mother of invention. You need it, you get it. So it basically means that, all right, hearing Paramatma, the best friend within everyone's heart. That's stated in Bhagavad Gita 5:29, that Krishna is Surida Sarvabhutanam. Now Krishna is not a liar. Everything he says in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is true. It may not apply to a specific devotee in time, place, and circumstance, but Krishna is not a liar. Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj used to say that if you say that Krishna is not a liar, then you don't know who is Krishna. So I'm curious. I asked my Guru Janam, and they said, well, Krishna lied. He said he was coming back, but he never came back. But that's there in Bhagavatam. But in Padma Purana, he did come back. He killed Dantavakra. He came from Dwarka to kill Dantavakra just outside of Mathura. Then he went into Vrindavan, stayed for 2 months, and literally closed shop. Liberated everybody in Vrindavan. So I didn't find it, how he's a liar. He's a cheater sometimes. He cheats sometimes, but for good reasons. But the coward boys will never think, my best friend's a liar. They'll never accept that. My best friend's a liar. So the coward boys will never accept it. My best friend's a liar. Nah. Can't be. He cheats sometimes. He's very intelligent. He's very sharp. But he's not a liar. Everything that there in Shastra, Krishna speaks is true. May not be applicable to some devotees, but it's applicable to some jivas, some conditioned souls. His instructions are definitely applicable to. So we have to see that according to time, place, and circumstance. I'm yet to get the Sanskrit where Krishna's actually a liar. He cheats sometimes. Sometimes he fibs sometimes. Sometimes, but I haven't found any Sanskrit anywhere that he's a liar. It's interesting stuff. There is another thing. Well, for those that say, I would really love to get some questions if we got them. Because Prashna Uttar, questions and answers, is really the hallmark of our devotees. Because Abhyasanam, we have to do application. And what are we going to apply? We're going to apply what we have faith in. So if somebody asks a question, and it's been dogging them for a long time, and if they get an answer that makes their day, then we have a stronger chance of Abhyasanam application. We have a stronger chance of Abhyasanam application. So that's good. Next thing. So if you have a question, you have a relationship. If you don't have a question, where is your relationship? The word manishana, intelligent, and the word manu, human being, both come from the same Sanskrit dhatu, root. So if you don't have a question, look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I a human being? So we would like that. Oh, you got something. When I see this string, I'm reminded of a Marathi garland. Marathi garlands from Bombay, they have 2 inches of string and a half of a marigold, and then another 2 inches of string and a half of a marigold, like that. Whether it's for the Prabhupada deity or for any sadhu, it cuts your neck, the string cuts your neck. It's a mess, I really don't like strings. I really don't like strings at all. And actually, another thing about it, my sannyas guru doesn't like garlands at all, and his disciples would give him a garland, and then he puts it on the dash, As soon as he gets out of the driveway or something, out of sight, he'll take it off and put it on the dash, because he gives everything away. He gives everything away. One intelligent disciple who knew his shirt size, his size, gave him a set of cloth. Very intelligent, because he can't give that out to very few people. And it's nice. She knew that if you want to give a gift, give something that they really need, not what you want to give. No, it's what they really need, And he gives everything away. So this intelligent disciple made a set of cloth for him and gave that, because they knew he can give it to very few people in this world. Very few people is the exact same size as him. So that's a very interesting thing, Give a gift, and then sometimes they give you gifts, and they don't know what the hell to give you, Like I was in Dallas, and an old acquaintance of mine wanted to give some incense. And I said, but I don't need it, nah. I got plenty of stuff. I got incense made out of Tulsi wood. Mentions in Hari Bhakti Vilas you should offer the deities. If you have an incense manufacturer, then ask them to make you some Tulsi wood incense. Now, Tulsi in of itself, Tulsi wood has no fragrance. You got to put some other fragrances there like that. But it's really good. And I also offer Tulsi paste to the deity. And Hari Bhakti Vilas says, if you don't offer Tulsi paste to the deity, then even if you're a Vaishnava and worship Lord Vishnu, you can't call yourself a Vaishnava. Pretty heavy. This basically means that 450 years ago, offering Tulsi paste, just like you make sandalwood paste, the same sandalwood grinding stone, and you just grind it up, like that, with a Tulsi stick. And you make paste, and it's cheap and best. There's a friend of mine, was president of Boise, Idaho. He said his brother is in Jaipur, and he goes, I don't offer any oils, because oils are chemical oils. Their joke is that if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, So real good oils for the deities are like, my God, we're talking about, 1,200 rupees a tola, really small amount, really good oil. Wow, that is something good. And most of the oils that are using for Nrsingadev offering in the morning is basically chalu. Ulhasnagar Sindhi Association, duplicate material. Chemical stuff. So he told me, I'm not offering chemical oils to Krishna. I'm only using sandalwood. And the next year when I saw him in Vrindavan, he goes, I'm not offering anything but Tulsi. What happened to that? And he goes, Ari Baba, I've found that these smart guys, these tricky fellows, the guru of tricky fellows, it's called Chalarama Acharya. Chalu means tricky. Chalarama Acharya means the teacher of tricky fellows. He says, I found these Chalarama Acharyas are putting Tulsi sandalwood and dipping it in chemical oil to give a fragrance. So Tulsi is cheap and best. Now, the bark splotchy. If you decorate the deity with that, without peeling the bark, you'll find that the paste is splotchy. And you're thinking, we hope that his friends are not going to razz him. Who was the fool who decorated you like that? We hope that the gopis, the coward boys, are not going to razz Krishna, for that. Give him a hard time. Who was the fool who decorated you like that? So you take the bark off. You clean the bark off. What are you going to do with it? Okay, you take the bark and you put it in the ghee lamp. Padma Purana says the ghee lamp becomes 1,000. Skanda Purana says it becomes 1 million. It's better than one. Like that. So you put that in the ghee wicks, and it's really, really good. Then the stick is white. The bark is gone. Then you make that into paste. That's nice. There's so many things you can do with Tulsi Kashta, Tulsi wood. There's so many things. You can in the old days, before gas heat, they used to use it for cooking. If you cook on a fire, Tulsi wood fire, Hari really likes that offering. And, so what does that mean? Okay, if you have an electric stove, you stick it under the pot. Stick Tulsi wood under the pot. Or in the fire, in the gas fire, stick a little piece of Tulsi wood. Could do. There's so many things like that. Use it for yagyas. Use it for antyasti, for burning bodies. And there's so many things. Your kid falls out of the mango tree or something like that, and breaks his arm or kills himself, You never know. So householders used to keep Tulsi wood. And it mentions in Garuda Purana Sarodhara, the extracted essence of Garuda Purana, chapter 10, verse 20, that the child, for his departed father, makes a funeral pyre out of 4 kinds of woods. Ashwat, banyan tree, Palash, which is Brahma, Sakshat. It's described in Padma Purana. And Tulsi, it's light. It pushes the living entity to a higher destination. And Chandan, sandalwood. You make a funeral pyre with those 4 woods, like that. And they push your living entity to a higher destination. Now, where are they going to go? Wherever they go is better than where they were. That's for sure. They're not a devotee. Where are they going to go? Wherever they go is better than where they were. Because in Tulsi Upanishad it mentions Svargaya, Svargamechatam. Those who want the heavenly planet, she'll give that. Basically, Tulsi Rani can give you anything you want if you're prepared to work for her. This one devotee, Sananda Kumar Das, was really, really good. Probably better than anybody else. In 2008, I was in UK, and somebody had a problem. So I asked, well, where was the other Tulsi Pujari? They said, oh, she went back to Argentina to marry Mr. Right. And then I said, did she train you up before she left? Nope. Oh, God. We got to reinvent the wheel all over again? Then So I called Sananda Kumar in Vancouver from UK over the phone. And before I could open my mouth, dirt is dead, bugs are there. He said, female psychology. And I said, what are you talking about? Oh, she does it all the time. What are you talking about? He said, he's from Kerala. He's a botanist from Kerala. Really good. And he says, like the Bollywood flicks, the girl wants to attract the boy. She does something like she's weak or something. Come on. She's married to Lord Vishnu. She's Atmarami. She doesn't need anything from anybody. But she's a female. She does a strategy. And I go, that's a neat. I have more strategies that she's got too, that I found in Sanskrit, that I found are part of her strategies. That's not bad. You got anything else? 50% perspiration and 50% ashraya. If you're not prepared to sweat for her, you will hardly know who she is. And I thought, wow, what a nice realization. When you break your rear for somebody, they start to reveal their sweetness to you. Any deity. Could be Gaurnitai, could be Nrsingadev, could be Radha Krishna, could be Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Shalagram. When you work hard for them, they reveal their sweetness to you. It's natural. Tulsi Rani is actually another cool thing I found out, that her service is a limb of Krishna's service. Now that really impressed me like anything. Everybody knew that she was dear to Lord Hari. In Hari Bhakti Vilasa, it's chapter 7, verse 279. Yatha Lakshmi Priya Vishnos Tulasi Chatato Arika. As Lakshmi Devi is dear to Lord Vishnu, Tulsi is even better. So she's Sri Sakhi. She's a friend of Lakshmi Devi. Like that. She's very friendly with her co-wives, but she's better. Interesting. That is interesting. She's got a different strategy. And not only that, in Brahmavarta Purana, when her co-wives blew her mind, then Lord Vishnu had to patch the cracks up and put all these girls back together. So he did. And he says in Brahmavarta Purana that she'll be Shirodharaniya, held on the head, respected by everybody. You will be respected by everybody. And even I will hold you on my head. This means that she has got qualities that even he appreciates. Now, Srila Bhishma Dev, Bhishma Pitamaha, a Mahajan, states in 1st Canto, chapter 9, verse 46, very difficult to ascertain the plan of the personality of Godhead. Great sages and saintly persons inquire exhaustively. They are bewildered. So, but in Hari Bhakti Vilas, chapter 9, verse 103, it says, Yasho Dehi, Dan Dehi, Kirtama Yushtata Sukha, Balim Pushtam Tatat Dharama, Tulasi Tvam Prasidame. If you're pleased with me, O Tulsi, give me Shriyam, give me wealth. Yasha, fame. Kirtim, effulgence. Ayush, duration of life. Tata Sukha, and happiness. And Balim, strength. Pushtim, nourishment. Tatat Dharma, and religiosity. Tulasi Tvam Prasidame. So, knowing this, and a child can always ask his mother and get the straight story from his mother. So, I was reading my email once, and my deity came in the heart. You're dying, And I was thinking, God, the astrologer said I'm supposed to leave when I'm 82 or 83, and I'm 57 now. So I was thinking, am I leaving now? So I asked her, hey, Tulsi Rani, hey, Rani, am I leaving now? And she goes, nah. She came in the heart, you're not leaving now. He's disappointed. You're not spiritual enough. So I got 2 realizations from that. One, you shouldn't disturb Balarama's mind. And 3, you should always be a little bit more spiritual than you were yesterday. Like I always joke, from ABC to GBC, everybody can be a little bit better than they were yesterday. Everybody can improve, whatever you're doing. It's okay. Now, Krishna's not interested in what you give him. He wants what's behind your back. And when you start to give that, then he becomes very, very friendly. Like that. So, but at the same time, he doesn't really get in the way of a person's independence. And if you ask them, they'll tell you in the heart, well, you can be a little better. Just like what was cool is I've been doing a lot of it. Jagaran, all-night vigil on Ekadasi. So, and the Janmastami Kanda, chapter 8 of Brahma Varta Purana. There's a lot more. Janmastami is a very big function. Sri Rupa Goswami has one called Sri Krishna Janma Titi Vritti, the activities that happen on Sri Krishna Janma. Pretty cool. There must be so many itihasas about it. So, there's 86 shlokas about how to do Janmashtami, and some of it is a real eye-opener for ISKCON devotees. They've never heard this stuff before. One of the shlokas says that if you do all-night vigil on Janmashtami, you'll get 1,000 times the benefit than if you did all-night vigil on Ekadasi. Pretty good. So I extrapolated that to any appearance day of the Lord. So I happened to be into Bali Island on Amalaki Ekadasi, around Gaur Purnima time, just like that, around that time. So then I did Gaur Purnima with the devotees, and I also did Jagaran, as my best to do. But the best one was Ram Navami, and I happened to be there for that. So I thought, well, Ramachandra's appearance day. So I did Jagaran on that year. That was last year. And next day, Ramachandra comes in the heart and says, what do you need? And I said, well, it would be good to serve you now. Purity to serve you. You're not serving enough. So then, the Paramatma will give you the straight story. Now, who? Basically, like Mahaduri says, the wheel that squeaks the loudest is the first one to get greased. So basically, it's greed. You need it, you get it, You need it, you demand it, you get it, And if you have nowhere else to go, then Krishna has to do it. That is really the essence of Surya Sarvabhutanam, that Krishna is your dear friend. Everybody in any relationship tolerates our existence. But Krishna genuinely loves us. Tulsi Rani is saying, it was very interesting that she has tree and non-tree forms, Tulsi Upanishad says. And I like that very much because people are serving her. Some of them was like the first plant they ever saw in their life, like this. And she's just appeared as a tree form to give us an opportunity for us to serve her. But she is not dependent on that. If she leaves, then she's not dependent on that, We should be prepared to serve that plant form of her in all respects. I remember I was in Baltic Winter Festival. Like 10 degrees below 0 centigrade, like typical, in Lithuania. And one girl said, I had a Tulsi when I was before, but she died, so I'm scared now. Come on, mother. I said, suppose a young girl had a miscarriage. She's embarrassed. She'll never get pregnant again. Or her husband loses his job in the job market. He's embarrassed. He'll never get a job again. Come on. Just go forward. What did you do wrong? And go forward. It's not what you did wrong. It's what are you going to do going forward. So, aparada. Aparada means offense, right? Aradita iti radha. She who worships best is called Radha. Aradita iti radha. So, apa is opposite. So whether it's Dham aparad, Nam aparad, Vaishnav aparad, Save aparad. Aparada means a bad mentality. When you give up the bad mentality, the aparada starts to get lifted. The fall, the fruit, that may get stuck with you. You may get that. But at least the aparada starts to be lifted when you understand what you did wrong and take rectification. So it's not what you did wrong. What are you going to do going forward? That is important. And even with her seva aparad, you may make some mistake. But what are you going to do going forward? If we do take that, that's what she's mostly interested in. What are you going to do going forward? And that was interesting. Now, another interesting thing I found in Sanskrit recently was that her service is a limb of Krishna's service. Now, that really surprised me because the deities are always nice, treated very nicely, and her greenhouse is really in a shambles. And how can that be? Prabhupada said if you wanted to keep Radharani, keep Krishna happy, make Radharani look more beautiful than Krishna, then Krishna will be happy. So it's the same kind of thing. It's the same thing. Because actually, Tulsi Devi is actually in the same league, internal potency, like this. And it mentions in Radha Astatara Stotra, Shloka 55, Tulasi Adistatri Devi. She is Matsyavatar translated that as mistress. This means Radharani is her boss. And in Shloka 105 it said Tulsi Toshika, that Radharani's mood pleases Tulsi. So not everybody likes their boss. Don't ask me, I just work here. People would say. But Tulsi Devi likes her boss. Now, in any quarrel, any lover's quarrel like this happens all the time. It's basically, Dan Keli Komudi like that. It's some kind of a quarrel between Krishna and Radharani. And Vrinda Devi will not take sides in any argument. She likes Krishna, she likes Radharani, she's not going to be plussed. And in Dan Keli Komudi, they really don't like it that she doesn't take a stance. It's funny. The translator of that for the BBT sent me a whole thing about how the gopis are on Vrinda Devi's case. Now, what is your opinion about tax collectors? Well, any girl born in a very good, upright family should have nothing to do with tax collectors. They're putting her on the spot, Then they say, okay, look, Vrinda Devi claims to be one of us, but actually she's squarely in Krishna's camp. So let's give her as a donation to Krishna. We've got to give somebody a donation. Then Krishna, who saw through that, goes, Lord Vishnu has already enjoyed her in Brahmavarta Purana. Give another girl. And Sriji goes, if a girl is beautiful and desirable and cannot be won by a man, you must be a celibate horse. The horses are celibate as long as you stay away from the mares, Pretty funny. It's actually a very funny story. So, Sriji, sometimes, there was in Radha Krishna Ujjvala Kusuma Keli Lila, in my Tulsi Shrine in Vrindavan, I spent $500 and I made a panel about it. That it's a standard Dan Keli Lila, like that. Krishna's chastising the girls for breaking the flowers. And how does this Vrindavan belong to you? Radharani says, it belongs to Vrinda Devi. She gave it to us. So Krishna says, Vrinda Devi, who is more beautiful than many millions of goddess of fortune, is my chaste wife. If you don't believe it, you can ask her. The Dharma Shastras say whatever belongs to the wife belongs to the husband. When you say Vrinda, meaning multitude, it means us too. So then Sriji, Radharani goes, Vrinda, is this true? Are you married to this fellow? If you were married to this fellow, you would blush red and run away, meaning Krishna's lying. But Vrinda Devi was not plussed. She goes, oh, Radha, why you talk like that? The beauty of Vrindavan forest is nothing but the expansion of the beauty of your lips. In the 9th chapter in Govinda Lamrita, you'll see it. And Radharani, and Vrinda Devi glorifies Radharani in 10 shlokas, and Radharani goes in ecstasy and completely forgets her anger. And I was thinking, she's a pukka diplomat, She's a proper diplomat. She's not going to be plussed. She's not going to lose her cool. She's not going to lose her anger. And she likes Krishna. She likes Radharani. She's definitely not going to be plussed, take sides in any controversy. She's going to be very diplomatic. And I really liked it. She's a really amazing diplomat. Look at her. Ooh. There is no Leela where she doesn't have her finger involved. There was one pastime that was very funny. So, Krishna was with Chandravali, Radharani's cousin, and blew Radharani's mind. And she got angry. Man, jealous anger. And she told her gopis, no black dresses, no black dresses, no black picture frames, nothing black. All you girls got to dye your hair, nothing black, And Krishna goes, Vrinda, what am I going to do? This is very serious. You have to listen to me. Well, what do you suggest? So it's described, Gaur Govinda Maharaj quotes it, that actually, Vrinda Devi says, Krishna, you should take off your yellow dhoti, and she gave him saffron cloth and a Vyagra charma, tiger skin cloth. And I'm a Baba. I became a sannyasi and I got nothing to do with Nanda Maharaj's house, like that. And he took a nectar, chanting Radharani's name, and went to Yavata. So Lalita Saki goes, there's a Baba out here. Baba. What do Babas want? They want some chapatis. Give him some chapatis. He's not hungry. He wants to see you. He says, you're angry with somebody. It's not good for your health. You have to give him your jealous anger. I'm not going to do that. Well, why not? Because I don't want to. If you don't give your jealous anger, then pop lagiga. You'll get sinful reaction. So Radharani goes, okay. He's a Jyotish. He sees the future. So Lalita Saki goes, if you want, you can see my Saki's hand. Nah, he doesn't read hands. He reads foreheads. But nobody sees the eyes of my Saki and like that. But he's a great brahmacharin. Don't worry about it. So they had eye-to-eye contact. Lalita Saki lifted Radharani's veil, and they had eye-to-eye contact. And Krishna saw, this is Radha. And Radha saw, this is Krishna. And it went away. And Krishna threw off his saffron cloth, took back his yellow dhoti, his peacock feather, and his flute, and came back, and Radharani couldn't be angry with him anymore because she promised now. She gave her jealous anger. And Vrinda Devi did that. It's a pretty cool story. So actually, there's no pastime that Krishna does in Vrindavan that Vrinda Devi does not have her finger involved. She is the organizer of everything. If Purnamasi Devi, the elderly Purnamasi Devi is the director of Vrindavan, then Vrinda Devi is the organizer. These two girls are hand in glove in Vrindavan, and nothing goes on without them. And anything that happens, there is a joke. If you haven't seen your sister in 40 years, you can Google and get her on Facebook. You can Google for any damn thing, and you can get it 90% of the time. So there's a pastime from Vidagna Madhava Natakam, chapter 7, when Krishna took the disguise of Gauri Devi at Gauri Tirtha, near Govardhan. It's not far from Sakarshanananda Sarovara side. That's about, half a kilometer in the fields. You'll see Gauri Tirtha. Basically, it's dried up and a little bit further away. So, Abhimanyu said, we want to take Radharani to Mathura. And because she's with this black snake all the time. Black snake Krishna all the time. So, he went to Purnamasi Devi, Bhagavati, to ask her blessings to take Radharani to Mathura. Think nothing of it, Bhagavati said. But he wasn't convinced. So she told Vrinda Devi, better tell Krishna. This is very serious. So Krishna was in that area with Chandra friends, Padma and Shaibya. And Vrinda Devi came and said, Abhimanyu wants to take Radharani to Mathura. This is very serious. Give me a disguise that can capture Radharani's mind. Then Madhumangala said, I saw Padma Gopi with some white cloth in Gauri Tirtha area. Excellent. Krishna said, I'll use that white cloth. Vrinda, you become my sister. So Srila Rupa Goswami says that she nodded her head and smiled. Yes. So it's described that Gauri Devi has entered into the temple and is making an earring out of a peacock feather. So, and who is she? Padma Gopi asked, well, who is she? This is my sister, the goddess of Bandirvan, Nikunja Vidya. But we've never seen her before. You don't know my sister? Vrinda Devi said, you don't know my sister. No. When Krishna takes the disguise Sham Saki like that, then who's her husband? What village is she from? We've never seen her before. It's very, very typical stuff. So Abhimanyu comes in and goes, look, there's the peacock of that black snake, Krishna, Tanvantika, who dances very nicely. He must be nearby. So Vrinda Devi goes, the peacock was asleep. Krishna went away. It's only my sister, Nikunja Vidya, the goddess of Bandirvan, here in the temple. So it means Tanvantika knows who's going on, what's going on. But he's a peacock, so he's silent, So then they went inside. Oh, goddess, please be merciful. Radharani says, accompanied with Jyotila and Radharani and Abhimanyu. What you're desiring is not possible. Why? Jyotila says. Tell her, Vrinda. Vrinda Devi says, 2 days from today, Kamsa will grab Abhimanyu and cut his head off and offer it to Bhairava. Jyotila goes, Radharani, you should pray to the goddess. This should not happen. Oh, goddess, please be merciful. I can't live without my Swami. Double language. Typical Radharani. Like that. Well, it's generally not possible, but her sweet voice has captured me in so many ways. It may be possible under certain circumstances. Anything, Jyotila says. She said, come here and worship me every day. Yes, she'll come here and worship me every day. And cancel the plans to go to Mathura. Well, cancel the plans to go to Mathura. And so Jyotila went out and left the temple. And then Purnamasi Devi comes and goes, what can I do for you, Bhagavati? Oh, son of Nanda, this disguise of yours has really captured our hearts. Please bless everybody that please always stay in Vrindavan and perform pastimes with Radharani, and whoever listens to this pastime will develop love for you, for the divine couple. And Krishna said, Tatastu, let it be so. So I was wondering, now what, if Krishna has this disguise, now what does Gauri Devi look like? Vrinda Devi came in the heart. Google. So I did, and I was shocked. She's actually got 4 hands, has a white sari with a golden border on, has a citron fruit, and a bell, and a mala, a mala, a japa mala, like that, and a bell, a mala, a darpan, a mirror, and a citron fruit in her hands. And Krishna has to have the exact same things. Radha, look at this. Your devotion is so great. The deities come outside of her form. Like this. Then I asked one Oriya Pandit, Bhakti Gaurava Narayan Swami, can you recognize Krishna? Nato nati atoyata. Just like a dancing actor is not recognized by people. It's an offense to Krishna. But I thought, God, this must be a very difficult disguise. Because Gauri Devi is fair and Krishna is Shamsundar. So what did he do to make his face fair? Like that. It must have been very difficult disguise. So Krishna took the form of Gauri Devi and Gauri Tirtha Vihara and played her role exactly, Stood outside the deity forms with these 4 arms and all these holding exact same things, and it looked exactly like Gauri Devi in order to fog Radharani's mind and Jyotila and Abhimanyu's mind. And I was thinking, my God, how did he do that? Gauri means fair. So how did Krishna Shamsundar make his face fair? I have no idea. But it's an interesting story. And Vrinda Devi became a part of it. And Krishna asked her, you become my sister. And she smiled and shook her head, yes, I'll do it. And she became a first-class sister. You don't know my sister, the goddess of Pandiravan, Nikunja Vidya? We've never seen her before. Yeah, right, Krishna's disguises, you've never seen it before. It's like that. All right, Hare Krishna. So, if people have questions, they can call in and give the question, or we can take some questions now. The first question is called the icebreaker, They're really good. Because we mentioned already, if you have a question, you have a relationship. And if you don't have a question, where is your relationship? Manishanam, man, and Manu, human being, come from the same Sanskrit root, dhatu. So if you don't have a question, look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I a human being? So it's like that. Hare Krishna. What's the first question? Anybody got one?
Hare Krishna. The verse Tashcharadhana Munayo Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya Pashyantyatmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Shruta Grihitaya, that the student becomes fortified with Jnana and Vairagya, from the first canto, 2nd chapter. Mm-hmm. Can you comment on that verse?
The 2 children of renunciation is Gyan and Vairagya. The 2 children of bhakti is Gyan and Vairagya. So Gyan and Vairagya are not bad. Some people say that Jnana, knowledge, and Vairagya can make the heart hard. But in Hari Bhakta Kopalatika, it mentioned a very interesting shloka. Tapo dhanyanma karman tadapi madripo padavajane bhavanti pratyaha nayatat sadhana vidi. It said, although austerities, tapo dharaman, religiosity, karman, activities, tadapi madripo padavajane, in the position of offering service to the feet of the Supreme Lord. Bhavanti pratyaha. It can cause an obstacle. It can make the heart hard. Nahiya tat sadhana vidi, but not the activities of practices. Sadhana iti sadhana. Your eternal wealth is your spiritual practices. Bhavanti said, but pyaha nahiya tat na dvija vara. The Brahmanas were not the best of men. It says, Vihinas tat patnya, but even without these qualities, their wives, Prabhu Bhajan Annam Yada Bhajan, offered foodstuff to Krishna and worshipped him by offering the 4 kinds of foodstuff. So Gyan and Vairagya are 2 children of bhakti. So, in relation to Hari, they're nice. Every mother loves her children really a lot, like this, and pushes them forward and has blessings for them, does austerities for them. Prabhupada said that my mother would be happy if I'm healthy and alive. That would please my mother a lot. So, Gyan and Vairagya are 2 children of Bhakti Devi, like this. So in relation to Hari, Gyan and Vairagya are not bad. Without devotion, then it's external. Knowledge, Jnana Kanda, Karma Kanda, Kevala Vishara Bandha. These are, Narottam Das Thakur says these are 2 pots of poison. Jnana Karma and Karma Kanda, Kevala Vishara Bandha, Amrita Bolia Jiva Kai. The living entity thinks that they're nectar and eats it. Nana Joni Brahman Kori. They'll take birth in many different forms, places, and Kardarya Bhakshankari, and eat many disgusting things. Tara Janma Adyapatiyai. In this way, they've wasted their duration of life and are fallen down. So that's what Narottam Das Thakur says in Prema Bhakti Chandrika. Pretty cool. So, Gyan and Karma, Gyan and Vairagya are 2 children of Bhakti Devi. And as long as one is going to use them in Krishna consciousness, then they purify you. But remember what I said, that Krishna is not interested in what you give him. He wants what's behind your back. So when you start to give that, then Krishna becomes very, very friendly. Krishna becomes very friendly. And will he ever become satisfied? He'll come on the heart. He'll tell you exactly what you have to do to please him. That's clear. Krishna will tell this devotee exactly in the heart what they need. And basically, it's greed. You need it, you get it. Like Mahaduri said, the wheel that squeaks the loudest is the first one to get greased. So squeak a little louder. That's all. And then when they see that you're desperate, they give it. If there's no other person to do it, Krishna will do it. And that, because he's not a liar. In Bhagavad Gita, he promised in chapter 5, verse 29, he's the best friend. He promised every living entity. So that is really good. Prabhupada was saying that you don't have to look very far. He's within the heart. So there are 3 things. Perception of the absolute truth. First thing is Shastra Pramana. The Supreme Lord comes to the devotee in the verses of Gita, Bhagavatam, exactly when the devotee is in trouble. So they see Krishna's presence in that. Then the other one is Rupa. Krishna comes in his form. You're a form of your authority, who you'll listen to, because Krishna wants to be effective. If he's going to say anything to the heart, shake your world. You better listen to it. He's going to come in the form of your authority to listen exactly what is said. Exactly. Then the third thing is Rupam. The third thing is, there's Guna. There's Guna. There's quality. And the quality of friendship is that he's always there. Now, when things are going good, that's not your friend. When things are going tough, and they stay by your side, that is a real friend. So Krishna stays by you, thick and thin, and always helps the living entity. And this is so comforting that somebody loves us. Tulsi Devi loves us, and her Prabhu, her Lord, loves us. And that is so comforting. God, I got somebody who loves me, you know. Everybody in any relationship basically tolerates our existence. They basically tolerate our existence. They don't love us. We get something from them. You know, husband and wife or whatever, friend, we get something from them. But Krishna is the best friend. So the deity is cheap and best. We may have so many relationships, but we have to love the deity. And the deity will love us back. It's proportionate to our greed. Like somebody has to feed Krishna or give something. Prabhupada said Krishna is hungry proportionate to the greed to feed him. You really want to feed him or give him something. Give him some cloth, give him some ornament. Like this. You have to be very greedy. And Krishna accepts it. Pujaris may not accept it. Just like, for example, I don't put any junk on my deities. Stones. Has to be semi-precious stones. You know, something from the dirt. Something real. You know, we're talking about real stuff. You know, lapis lazuli, tiger eye, you know, like that. And for every color, you can get things. And you can stick it with some stupid synthetic pearls, stick it together, and put it on Krishna's neck. You know, like that. Put a nylon thread and a barrel clasp and put it on Krishna's neck. And lovely. It's like that. So it means that, you know, in some years, 5 years down the line or something, the people can offer the deities real stone jewelry. If they sold it, they wouldn't get much for it. It's semi-precious jewelry, but it's coming directly from the dirt. We're not asking you to put diamonds and gold, although sometimes they offer Krishna that too, you know, like that. But if they're worried that they may get stolen by the pujaris or by the public, then don't give those opulent things. Give them semi-precious stuff. So it's nice. And so I remember that once my friend, the temple president, the longest temple president in ISKCON, Sriniketan Das, and they got a board now, but still he's basically in charge still, you know. And since 1977, he has been there on the island. And he's the longest serving temple president that I really know. So he asked me to give some jewelry. Green jewelry for a green outfit. Yeah, I know that jewelry. Malachite. Yeah, when I go back to Russia, I'll get it. Now the mines in Russia are basically dried up. It's coming from Minas Gerais in Brazil. So I went there. And 5 months later, Hari came in the heart and reminded me, you promised to give me this jewelry. So then I told some householder devotees, how big do you need it? And I said, well, it should be this big around. Should be that big around. You know, and, you know, the deity is like this high. So they gave it to me, too. And they gave it to me in a bag. And it was 5 kilos of jewelry. And I thought, my God, how am I going to get it to Krishna's neck? This is July. The people from Mauritius are not going to come to Vrindavan until October, November, like that. So then I happened to meet a devotee. I went back to Moscow, the good old days. Before the internet, you could buy things online. Now you can buy it anywhere online. You can buy tickets online. You have to go to the station before and get it there. So he happened to be in the line waiting to get a ticket. And so he came outside. And Russians are all Caucasian. So I started to talk with him in Hindi. Where are you from? He said, I'm an aspiring disciple of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and I'm from Mauritius. I got to go for 1 day to St. Petersburg for some work. And on Monday, I'm going home. Where is home? Mauritius. So then I laughed, and I went round to the back and opened up my luggage, and I gave him the jewelry, and I said, Krishna has called you to be his courier. And I thought, look, there are millions of people in that city. Millions, literally. And it just so happens that a devotee is in the line getting a train ticket. You know, it means Krishna arranged everything. And I thought, God, he gives everything. In Bhagavad Gita, it states in chapter 10 that I'm the butter, I'm the fire, I'm the offering. Krishna gives you everything. And he'll even send his courier. His carrier also. Krishna gives you everything. He'll even deliver it. You just simply have to. What do we got? We have only our minute independence. We have to want to give it. And if we want to give it, the external energy comes for free. All you have to do is want to give it. Your desire is to do something. And the external energy comes for free. Durga comes for free. So I was with one visiting a disciple who's quite fallen now. But at any case, then Mangal Devi came into my dream. Mangal Devi? I didn't ask her to come. Why would she come? Then I Googled for her, and it turned out a name for Durga. Durga, why would she come? It must be good for bhajan, it must be good for japa, and Dauji must have told her, fix his problem. Then later on when I did Puri Parikrama, I found out that Mangal Devi is the form of Durga that is Balarama's Karaka. Because Balarama is the existential energy of Krishna. The whole spiritual world, material world is resting on Dauji and Balarama. So if Balarama needs the help from the material energy, he asks her to help out. And she comes and she stick to your powder, she did. Bah! And she disappeared. And I thought, Durga, I didn't bribe her. I didn't ask her to come. I didn't worship her. Why did she come? Balaram must be good for bhajan. It must be good for service to Krishna. And Balaram must have told her, fix his problem. So when you worship the internal potency, external energy comes for free. Buy one, get one free. It's very funny, So it's not bad. Devotees can serve Lord Hari. And Durga will come for free, like that, to help the devotees serve Lord Krishna if they need help with the material energy. We just have to love the deities. The deities are not poor people. They'll give everything. They'll do everything. They'll give everything. I mentioned that about Vrinda Devi. She's not a poor girl or a foolish girl either. If you need funds, she'll pay for it. And if you run into a brick wall, because Lord Brahma creates in the mode of passion, and Lord Shiva annihilates, but only Vishnu can maintain. Sometimes maintenance is even harder than creating something. It's such a mess. So I did a shrine for her in Vrindavan, and she did it in 3 years flat. More beautiful than I could ever dream. So you make some stupid mistakes in the construction work, and you have to maintain it. And I'm running into a brick wall, and I said, hey, Rani, I'm trying to do this for your pleasure. How to do it? And she'll come in the heart, she'll tell you exactly how to get it done. She is not a poor girl or a foolish girl. She can help you get it done, no matter what it is. And I thought, that's brilliant. She is a very good architect. She's a very good organizer. She's a very intelligent lady. She can help you get anything done. Basically, you just simply love her. That's all. And she does all the rest. It's the same thing. You give anything to the deities that you love, and Krishna will do all the rest. Don't give him good junk. I don't give him plastic. You don't give him plastic cloth like that. We used to like if they have like shiny stuff, plastic stuff, you would put a cotton liner on it to touch the deity's body. You don't give Krishna plastic junk, made out of oil. Give him something from the dirt. Give him some real stone jewelry. And the thing about it, then what is causeless mercy? Causeless mercy is basically you got more than you paid for, more than you bargained for. It's extra stuff. It's agyata sukrita. They made advancement without their knowledge, That's agyata sukrita. Causeless mercy means you got more than you bargained for. You got more than you paid for. There is so much that happens to a devotee in a devotee's life that's much more. Then what's karma? Karma is reaction. Karma adi nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajan. Anybody who serves Krishna, the karma is reduced. So a Vaishnavi of substance thinks, I only get the slaps I deserve. Any slap that comes my way, then I deserve it. I'm getting a token. It's like you cut your finger, something like that. I probably deserve to have the whole finger cut off, but Krishna just cut me slightly, just to give me a slight slap. Now, what is it? It's basically an opportunity. You take an obstacle and turn it into an opportunity. That's a Vaishnava and Vaishnavi of substance, you know. So that's all I can think of. That's all I can think of about Gyan and Vairagya. That's all I could think about Gyan and Vairagya. Anything else?
What is the process for bringing those things from behind your back?
What is the process of bringing those things out?
Yes.
From behind your back?
Yes.
It's called straightforwardness. You know, because that's part of friendship. If Krishna is Surita Sarvabhutana, then you've got to be straightforward with your friend. You can't lie. He sees everything. You can't lie anything. You can't hold it back. So what's the process? The process is developing friendship. The more part of friendship, then you've got to give everything. Nah, he doesn't want what you're giving him. He wants something else. So you got to give that. And when you start to give that, then he becomes very friendly. Like that. So what's the process? I think indefatigable determination. You have to become indefatigably determined to give it. Like that. Another thing about is the previous acharyas. You have to look. Did the previous acharyas used to give it? Yeah. You have to give everything to Krishna. Now it's difficult. Now Rupa Goswami mentions in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of the 9 Navanga Bhakti that Prahlad Maharaj mentioned. I think it's 7th canto, chapter 9. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. Like that. Prahlad Maharaj mentions. Now of that, Srila Rupa Goswami mentions in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Duskarat Vera Verale Dve Sakyatma Nivedane Kesam Chadeva Dhiranam Lebate Sarananvataha. Of the 9-fold of Bhakti, 2 processes are very difficult. Giving everything to Krishna and becoming Krishna's friend. It's for those that have earned the right, Srila Rupa Goswami says, to act on that platform. All right, it may be difficult. We want it anyway. Like that. So, let me take 100 birds until I'm ready. So Krishna is the judge and his associates are the jury. And I always joke that you can call Krishna according to relationship. Because in Adi Leela chapter 4 verse 19 he says, whichever way my devotee worships me, I reciprocate accordingly. That is my nature. So you can call Krishna according to your favorite relationship. I always joke that you can call Krishna Bhaiya, oh friend. It doesn't mean that Krishna will call you Bhaiya. It means that we have to do a lot more to come up to Krishna's standard before Krishna will be pleased to call you Bhaiya. You can call Krishna Bhaiya, oh my dear friend. It doesn't mean Krishna will call you Bhaiya. It means that you have to do a lot more to come up to that platform. You know? So that's pretty interesting. It just means developing friendship. Okay, all right, you see everything, you know. You see everything I got and what I'm holding up, you know. Basically, you pray that, my dear Lord, you can do whatever you want. Please drag me to your lotus feet. Now, he's very clever. Because if he's not going to get it this way, he's going to get it this way, you know. He's a really clever fellow. He's going to get it whichever way. So, okay, fine. You have a right. So, like when Dauji and Krishna grew up, they stopped crawling in Vrindavan and they started doing their muck and chore pastimes. 10th canto, chapter 5. Then Mother Yasoda's friend said, when your son comes to our house, if we give it to him voluntarily, he's not happy. He wants to steal it. The idea was that, suppose you gave somebody, like you gave somebody $20, you know, it's gone already. I forgot about it. But if that kid comes to your house and steals, you don't forget that kid, you know. And smartavya tata Vishnu, Vishmartavya chachuchit. Vishnu Purana says it. Always remember him and not forget him, you know. And he's only doing what he promised to do, you know. So if he steals, then he's happier, you know, actually, you know. He tells his friends, go in that house. If nobody's there, let me know. And it means, so Krishna is a big thief. And our business is to help him steal. And then he lets you join the thievery party, you know. So that's basically it. Krishna's a big thief, and our business is to help him steal. And Krishna's not interested in what you give him. He wants what's behind your back. And when you start to give that, then he becomes very friendly. Now, at the same time, he's not happy until you give it all, you know. So the process is basically friendship. You know, slowly, Krishna will pull it out, you know, like that. Force you to give it. All right. Now the thing about it is, I asked, Because Krishna broke the rules with Gopakumar and a few other sadhus like that. He broke his own rules, and he actually forced them to come to his feet. So, I asked Bhaktivedanta Purna Maharaj in the Baltic Summer Festival, when will Krishna said, I've had enough of this rascal. Now I'm going to interfere. He said, but Krishna will never interfere with the minor jiva's independence. You know, he may tweak the circumstances a bit. You know, like a devotee doesn't have very options. He can't run very far, you know. And when he said that, no, he may tweak the circumstance a bit. I thought, that sounds like Krishna. He's very smart, very clever fellow, you know. He may tweak the circumstances a bit, but he's not going to interfere with the jiva. He doesn't want to interfere with the jiva's independence. It's a very interesting thing, you know. Very interesting thing, you know, like that. Krishna will never interfere with the jiva's independence. He may tweak the circumstances a bit so that we can pray to the deity that, my dear Lord, please tweak the circumstances so that I don't have anywhere to run but to your lotus feet, you know, like that. And it's very interesting that Krishna gives and Krishna takes away everything. Very funny. Just like Bangsidas Babaji. Somebody gave him a whole clump of bananas, green bananas, and he put it up in the rafters to ripen up. So some rat smelled it and dug up from his kuti and came up and inside. And Bangsidas saw the rat and goes, here's a thief. And then he pointed to Krishna, and here's a thief. There's rats in Bombay. They're big and scruffy. They're like this big around, and they're this big, and the tail is extra, you know. They're called bandicoots. Really scruffy, ugly rats. So in 1986, I thought, my God. The first thing, I'm running to Mangalartik. You know, we heard the conch shell blow. And I'm running and scrounging up the stairs, and I see these bandicoots. The first thing I see in the day is these bandicoots. So when I heard that story of Vangsidas, then I thought, now I can see the bandicoots in relation to Krishna by the grace of that sadhu. Pretty cool. You can see Krishna everywhere and everything within him, like that, as Bhagavad Gita 6:30 mentions that, like that. So it's very good. It's very positive, like that, to see. So by the grace of Vangsidas Babaji Mahasai, we could see the bandicoots in relation to Krishna. It satisfied me, you know. I was so frightened. My God, I got to see these scruffy, ugly things. The first thing I put my eyes on in the daytime, you know. I got to see these scruffy things like that. And this bandicoots were so big that once I saw a cat, and the cat would spray to go against the wall. Ain't gonna do nothing against this. You know, the bandicoot was as big as the cat, you know, and the cat was like, I ain't gonna do nothing against this rat, you know. That was shocking, you know. The bandicoot was probably bigger than the cat, and the cat was like, you know, cat, I ain't gonna do nothing. It was funny like anything, you know. The cat would spread eagle against the wall, and it went, It was surprising, you know. So by the grace of Bhaktidas Babaji Mahasai, then I was able to see that, when I see the bandicoots, I can think of Krishna now. It was very interesting. Vaish, what else have you have to say?
The verse Swesve Adhikari na Yanishta Saguna Parikirtita. Swesve Adhikari na Yanishta Saguna Parikirtita. That Krishna says to Uddhava, one should, it's a good quality to act according to one's adhikari. So, what does that mean that one is acting according to adhikari in
Adhikar.
Yeah, according to adhikar.
Talent.
And taking also this idea of, you know, complete surrender, that you're giving everything from behind your back.
Yeah.
But what is the difference between considering that I have some limited facility, or I have some adhikari, some restraint, but also full surrender is required?
Thank you. The Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentions in his Amritavani, it's not enough to engage the 5 karmendriyas, the 5 working senses, and the 5 gyanendriyas, knowledge-acquiring senses, in the service of Krishna, because that's the beginning of bhakti. As Padma Purana says, Rishikesha Rishikena Sevanam Bhaktaruchate. Bhakti is called when you engage the senses in the service of the master of the senses. So he says, rather, more important than that is to think of Krishna, Krishna's form, and chant Krishna's name at the same time while you work. Then it becomes paribhavita bhakti. Devotion with emotion. And that's what Krishna takes. It's not the item, it's the love behind the item. That's described in 3rd Canto, chapter 9, verse 11. Now, in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 3, verse 111, Prabhupada's translation of that shloka is better than how we did it in the Bhagavatam. Yet the purport in the Bhagavatam is better than the Chaitanya Charitamrita purport. How? You look at them both. You'll see. It's interesting. So basically that's that. Basically that's that there. So it's adhikar is good. Because people will do more if you engage them according to their talent. Everybody else simply grumbles, mumbles, fumbles, and stumbles. If they're engaged in some work, it's not their nature. Fumble, mumble, grumble, and stumble. But if it's something, something to work, then you can do it with your eyes closed. Second nature. Been there, done that. Like that. So engaging people in their talent, their adhikara, it's natural. But we should always encourage them. But it's more than just dravya, offering the item. It's the love behind the item. That's more important. And when you give that, that's what Krishna wants. Krishna steals the love, not the item. Of course, we're trying to give the best thing we got. But everybody knows in Kali Yuga, the item goes down. From one generation to another, it simply goes down. And, like the older generation, when the grandchildren are trash and everything is very expensive, they leave their body very happily. Unless they are teachers or something and they got a mission. Just like Jack LaLanne left his body last year in 96 in his sleep. At 95, a journalist said, well, what are you thinking about death? And he said, bad for my profile. So he was a teacher, At 80 years old, he's pulling 2 boats full of people under the water, under the Bay Bridge, Like that. The guy was like strong as a moose, at 80 years old, under the water, He's doing that. And at 95 years old, what are you thinking about death? Bad for my profile. He left his body in his sleep at 96, like that. It's interesting stuff, like that. So it's not talent, ultimately, although it's okay, but it's the love behind the talent. That's what we want. Just like in the old days, when I was a cook, we used to break our rear 40, 50 times tweaking a preparation. If it's not stolen, it's not good enough. So the gold medal was when it was stolen. The president was the thief. He stole it. And then the silver medal is you got off the altar and it wasn't stolen. It means the president was busy, He was busy. And you got to tweak it a little more. You got to tweak the spices, got to tweak because if the fire doesn't roar with one bite, cook failed. If the dal is dull, cook failed, So we have to see like that things really work. And then the bronze medal is you cooked it for the Sunday feast and it's gone. Nothing is left over because you're not cooking for who might come. You're cooking for who you know will be there. Because any cook where there's salt has dry goods stacked away. You give me 20 minutes and 50 people and they'll feed them. Like that. That was actually the mood of a cook of substance. That you give me. Now, they have these sort of stuff. Like sometimes, and the booby prize was the iron medal. It was left over. Where in the hell is it left over? They didn't like it? You made too much? What for? That's called the booby prize, iron medal. Like that. So we had 4 grades in 35, 40 years ago in cooking for the deity. Because Krishna doesn't need your item. He needs the love behind the item. And we used to work. And then after Krishna, some said they're Haritojana, after Krishna is satisfied, then the Vaishnava should be satisfied. Because the army runs on its stomach. And you never know. We would do the Boga run on Fridays, and half of it would go to the Sunday feast, and the other half you stretch it for the whole week. And you never know what you're going to get cheap or free. So you got to know everything. Now, they also stop like restaurants. Can we give grains on Ekadasi? If the cooks are dumb, then yeah, they give grains on Ekadasi. But any cook knows all interesting Ekadasi preparations to make for the Lord that taste just like grains or better. And it gives variety in a restaurant like that. So if the cook is ignorant, if you don't have good cooks, then you have to give grains. Because the cooks are stupid. They don't know nothing. But if a cook is really good and really knows their stuff, then they know how to make all nice Ekadasi. Why should I give Papa Purusha? Lord Gauranga said in chapter 18 of Jagannatha Pandit's Prem Vivarta that the non-devotees gourmandize thinking that they're getting Jagannath Mahaprasadam. But actually they're simply getting Papa Purusha. So one should not eat. There's some funny shlokas. One funny shloka says, to have conception with your mother is good. To kill Brahmins and eat the flesh of cows is good, but not to eat an Ekadasi. Basically, that's the whole, shock the hell out of you and then give you some instruction you'll never forget. It's a typical Sanskrit trick, like that. Shock the hell out of you. Whoa, look at that. And then give you some upadesha, some instruction you'll never forget. Whoa. That was a good one. Another one was, didn't matter what you did for your job. You could have been a prostitute, a murderer, an extortionist. You did all night Ekadasi, you're liberated anyway. And I thought, we're not exactly from a glorious background, a glorious family, so it was pretty good. Pretty good shlokas. Yeah, so that's basically it. So it's the quality of stuff. When you try to give Krishna quality more and more and more, then he'll come in the heart. And we're trying to give the best we can. And we're putting our foot in our mouth like this. So, but Krishna will give us the clue. All right, this is what you're doing, and this is what you can do to do more. So the deities will tell you, you have to be a little bit more determined than you're doing now. Like that. So basically that's what Surita Sarva Bhutanam is. Krishna's a friend of everybody, and Krishna sees everybody. It's not what you're giving, it's what's behind your back. So we have to give that voluntarily. Sarvabhauma, the fat guy in Vrindavan, he's the entertainer, told me this story. The day after Ludhiana Rath Yatra happened to be Ekadasi, so he told this story. Very funny story. And in the story it said that one guy, son of his father, used to eat 2.5 kilos of rice every day. So as long as the old man lived, what to do is my son, eating 2.5 kilos of rice every day. What to do? But when he died, the brothers' wives came from a different family, and they're not going to take that. So they gave trouble to their husbands. Get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy, get rid of this guy. He's just eating us out of house and home. So they threw him on the street. So he's crying in front of a Ram Mandir. Ah! So the Ram Pujari came out and says, what are you crying for? My bobbies, my brother's wives, threw me on the street. Why? Because I eat 2.5 kilos of rice every day. Well, I offer Ramachandra 3 kilos of rice at Rajbhoga, and I only need half a kilo, so I'll give you 2.5 kilos. What did you do for your father? I was taking cows in the forest. Oh, we got some cows. So he became a bhakta. He joined the temple, okay? And then, so he joined the temple. And then, everything was okay, right? He got his 2.5 kilos of rice at Rajbhoga, and he took the cows to the forest until Ekadasi came along. The Pujari goes, Hari Vasaram, day of Lord Hari, we're not going to eat nothing. We're not going to offer nothing. We're just going to chant Rama's name and read Ramayana. Pujari, and the boy said, God, I'll die. Ramachandra will maintain you. You're not going to die. Give me 5 kilos of wheat flour. 5 kilos of wheat flour. What are you going to do with 5 kilos of wheat flour? Go! So he went to the the warehouse, took 5 kilos of wheat flour, went to the forest. And he added some water and made it into dough and made it into chapatis. Cooked the chapatis on the fire. God, hard work. And he put half in the front and half behind. Like this. And he called out, Oh, Ram, please come, please sit, please be merciful, oh, Ram. I'm Please come quickly, Ram, because I'm very hungry, Ram. So Ramachandra came. And he gave these chapatis. These are great. One. These are fantastic. One. Tasty. One. Like this. Then they were all gone. And Ramachandra goes, look, I'm your guest, isn't it? The guest is not different from God. Yeah, the guest is said by God. Yeah, right. So he started to pull the chapatis from behind the back. These are great. One. These are fantastic. One. Tasty. One. Like this. Anything left? Nope. Ramachandra disappeared and went away. What could the guy do? He took the cows in the evening, boiled the milk from the cows, offered the milk, drank the milk. One ekadasi. Keep that in mind. Okay? One ekadasi. Next day he got us 2.5 kilos of prasadam rice from the deities. What to do? Life is like that. Life is like that. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade and give it to Krishna. So it was very interesting. What to do? Until next Ekadasi. Pujari goes, Hari Vasara, Dehavari, we're not going to eat nothing. We're not going to sleep nothing. We're not going to cook nothing, offer nothing. Oh God, I'll die. You won't die. Ramachandra maintain you last Ekadasi. He'll maintain you this Ekadasi. What do you worry? So the boy said, give me 7.5 kilos of wheat flour. 7.5 kilos of wheat flour? What do you need that for? Go! So he went to the warehouse, took the 7.5 kilos of wheat flour, and when they go down, the stalk, went to the forest, added water, made into dough, and he cooked it in the fire, and he offered it. And he called out, God, such hard work. Oh, aye Ram, Padari Ram, Kripa Karke Ram, Jalti aye Ram, Hambod Bukhara Ram. Oh Ram, please come, please sit, please come quickly because I'm very hungry. So Ramachandra came with Sita Devi. Who is she? My bobbies threw me on the street. My brother's wife threw me in the street. This is my wife. She comes with me sometimes. We're your servants. We're your guests. Feed us. Yeah, okay. So he put 2 leaf plates down. Tasty. 1, 2. Fantastic. 1, 2. Lovely. 1, 2. Come on, give it now. We're your guests, right? Yeah, right. So he pulled the chapatis from behind his back. Lovely. 1, 2. Tasty. 1, 2. Fantastic. 1, 2. Like that. Anything left? Nope. Sitaram disappeared. What could the guy do? He milked the cows in the evening, boiled the milk, offered the milk, drank the milk. 2 Ekadasis. Keep that in mind. The next day he got us 2.5 kilos of rice. What to do? Life is like that, We have to tolerate what to do. And then everything was all right until the next Ekadasi 2 weeks later. Hari Vasara, Devi Lord Hari. We're not going to eat nothing. We're not going to sleep nothing. We're offer nothing, cook nothing. Only Ramayan and Rama's name. God, I'll die. You're not going to die. We're not going to die. Ramachandra will maintain you. Ramachandra maintains everyone. Give me 10 kilos of wheat flour. 10 kilos of wheat flour? What are you going to do with 10 kilos of wheat flour? Go! So he went to the warehouse, took 10 kilos of wheat flour, and added some water and made it into chapatis in the forest. And he cooked the chapatis. Oh, Ram, please come, please sit. Please come quickly, Ram. Please be merciful, Ram. Please come quickly, Ram, because I'm very hungry, Ram. So Ramachandra came with Sita Devi, Bharat, Shatrugna, Lakshman. Adi Baba, he's calling his whole family. These are my brothers. They come sometime now. We're your guests. Feed us. Okay. So he put these 5 leaf plates out. Wah, wah, wah. Bod varia roti, muji menako oregdena. These are great. Give me one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tasty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You like this? Come on now. We're your guests. Give it to us now. So he took the chapatis from out in the back. Lovely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tasty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything left? Nope. Sita Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, Bajrangbali, they all left. Sita Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna, they left. Okay. So next day, what could the guy do? Nah. So he boiled the milk, offered the milk, drank the milk. 3 Ekadasis. So, next day he got his 2.5 kilos of wheat of rice. What to do? Life is like that, huh? And tell Harivasara, the Pujari goes, Devi, Lord Harivasara, we're not going to eat nothing. We're not going to sleep nothing. We're not going to cook nothing. Only Rama Pat, We're only going to drink, read Ramayana and chant Rama's name. Oh God, I'll die. But 3 Ekadasis win and Ramachandra maintain you. Now he'll maintain you. Like this. Give me 12.5 kilos of wheat flour. 12.5 kilos of wheat flour. What are you doing? You're selling it in the market? I'm going to come to the forest and see what you're doing with 12.5 kilos of wheat flour. Yeah, sure, you can come to the forest. Ramachandra's coming. Yeah, sure. Ramachandra's coming, sure. When he went to the Pujari, went to the forest, he said, God, I can't believe it. Then Bajrangbali was there. Hanuman was there. Well, if you're so smart, then why don't you cook the chapatis? I can bring the wood, Hanuman said. Sita Devi goes, oh, I know how to make chapatis. And he took the 6.5 kilos of wheat flour from behind the guy's back. He was thinking, every time Ramachandra comes, he steals everything and there's nothing left for me. So I'm going to leave half of the wheat flour as atta, wheat flour. And Sita Devi took it from behind his back. Ooh, I know how to make chapatis. So the Pujari says, I can't believe it. Here is Sita Devi's making chapatis, and Bajrangbali is bringing the wood, and Ramachandra and Lakshman and Bharat and Shatrughna are waiting, and Sugriva is there. My God, you're calling the zoo. These are my servants. They come with me sometimes. We are your guests. Feed us. Okay. So he brings these 7 plates, and they're eating all this prasadam, like this. And wah, 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 bodh variya roti, muji mere korek dinner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wah, wah, wah. Bodh variya roti, muji mere korek dinner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are tasty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then the Pujari goes, my dear Lord, why are you doing this? And so there's a shloka in Madhya Leela, chapter 22, verse number 34, where Ramachandra, Krishnadas Kaviraj quotes Ramachandra, that Sakriteva prapano yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvata tasmai dadami etarvatam mama. It is my vow. If anybody says, I belong to you, then I'll award them fearlessness, and they'll be protected from this day forward. So Prabhupada says in the purport there, very small purport, this is from Valmiki Ramayana, Yuddhakanda, chapter 17, verse 33. And I thought, must be Vibhishana. Turns out it was. Ravana turned down Vibhishana's idea. So Vibhishana with his mantris, prime ministers, came in the sky above Ramachandra like that to offer some discussion with Ramachandra. And Sugriva thought it was a trap. These guys are spies. They want to see our strength. So Ramachandra says, look, even if Ravana comes and bows his head, I'm ready to give him protection. What to speak of Vibhishana? And Sugriva goes, okay. And basically, that was the story. Like that. What to speak of Vibhishana? So that shloka is very interesting. Sakrideva prapano yas tavasmiti chayachate abhayam sarvata tasmai dadami tadavatam mama. If somebody just once says that I belong to you, then I'll give them protection, and they'll be fearless from that day forward. So that is my vow, Lord Ramachandra says. He does like that. So Krishna gives us all protection, support, and facility in exchange for our insignificant service. And he does his job better than we do our job. Krishna does his job much better than we do our job. In exchange for our business is to simply love them. And their business is to protect, support, and facilitate us, Hey, Guruna, you got a question for us?
No, not right now. Sorry.
We'll get it later. You're on cue. You'll get it later. Please wait. You are at cue. You're in line. If we don't have questions from the kids, we're all in trouble. Kids are the next generation, so especially if we want questions from the kids, we don't get them, then we're all in trouble. Hare Krishna. We should always remember that Krishna is never interested in what we give him. He wants what's behind our back. And when you start to give that, then Krishna becomes very friendly. And if we have problems about how we're going to give it now, then we have to reveal our mind to our friend. And they'll tell us what you have to do now to give a little bit more. So Krishna will help us because that's what he promises. He promises to help his devotee. He promises to give intelligence to his devotee. So Krishna will definitely do it. We have to beg a little harder, like that. And Krishna will give you the brains. How to do it. How to do it. But the determination has to be ours. It has to be indefatigably determined. Yeah, somehow or other, I'm going to do it. How are you going to do it? I got to do it because the deities are demanding us to do it. The deities would not be saying something stupid. It must be possible. It must be mathematically possible. The previous acharyas used to do it. Why can't we do it? Because we have no taste. That's why. We have no taste. So we have to continually beg. And the deities are going to give us some slack. Sometimes we just have to beg, like I have to beg, following Bhaktivedanta Purnamara's advice, that Krishna is not going to interfere with the minor independence of the jiva at all. No, he may tweak the circumstances. So that I think we have a right to beg that. All right, my dear Lord, do whatever you like. Drag us to your lotus feet. Please tweak the circumstances so we have nowhere else to turn but your service. I think that's realistic. We have a right to beg the deities. All right, you know what I'm doing, what I'm offering you, and what I'm keeping away. Now please tweak the circumstances so I'm forced. I have no other way to go to you. And it's very interesting to beg that, like that. You have no other way out but to do that. Yeah. Oh, he's got one now. Ooh. Hey, Akurana's got a question now. Wow.
Well, it's a little scary if you actually are begging that the Lord forces you and you have no other way. I mean, won't it be dangerous? Won't it? What if you have to become homeless? What if you have to become... What if your friends abandon you and things?
There is a shloka in the southern declension of Mukundamala Stotra. You won't find the BBT version. Let my friends and relatives criticize me. Let them abandon me. I'm not going to give up the lotus feet of Govinda for a single moment. Pretty cool. The BBT edition is 53 shlokas. And the southern declension is 60 shlokas. With the Falashruta is 61. Not bad. It's like 8 more shlokas. But those shlokas are really cool. Now, who wrote them? Who knows, no? But they're really, really neat. That's one of them. Yes, Prabhu?
That reminds me of the sloka by Madhavendra Puri, where he said, the Mammonists will call me mad, and all the different people will reject me, but still I won't give up my determination to serve Govinda, even though I'm unable to do it.
Even though I'm unable to do it? Yeah. That's a cool shloka. These are shlokas. Now, but the thing is this, that Krishna knows. The thing about it is that we have to... Full surrender means that, all right, Krishna knows what to do. He's smart. Krishna knows what you can do. Like, it's dangerous, nah? We're asking you, we could make us homeless, you could do it, but Krishna knows just how far to bend that stick, So, like you're bending a bamboo, you're making a chair out of it or something like that, before the bamboo will split, An intelligent person knows how far they can soak the bamboo, bend the bamboo, so you can make a cane furniture with it or something like that, so it won't split, So Krishna's very smart. Putting yourself in Krishna's hand knows that, Krishna knows to what extent he can bend you, like that. So another thing about it is that there is, like for example, there's, I think it's Alan something, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj was describing about time management, that there's 80-20 formula. 80% of the work gets done at 20% of the time. And 20% of the work, if you throw it away, you're not going to recognize, you're not going to miss it, like that. So it's 20-80 like that. So if you throw something away, so in retrospect, all right, it may be painful in the beginning, but in retrospect, go, I probably don't need it. No? Actually, So if Krishna does it, our whole thing is tvama kinchana gochara. Those who have no other place but him. Actually, Krishna becomes the friend. I got nobody else, so it's interesting. So Krishna sometimes Krishna forces a devotee. Now, it may appear to be a little radical in the beginning, but for some people, that's opulence, That's opulence. They needed that, They didn't need all the rest of the stuff, like that. So it's like interesting, It may appear to be quite radical that we're asking Krishna to do it, but the full surrender basically means that Krishna is very intelligent. He knows what to do. Now, there's some things like, for example, they do it in gradual. You don't get it all at once. You don't get it all the slap at once, It happens gradually, like this. And it's interesting. Now, in Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 88. Sometimes they quote 8, but basically it's 8 through 11. And it's very interesting shlokas. So Yudhishthira Maharaj asked Krishna that, look, sometimes the devotees of Lord Shiva are very opulent, devotees of Narayan are not very opulent. So he says, now when somebody worships me, if I've shown them this mercy, I take away everything they got. They become just like a person who had something, like that. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. That's when I really show my mercy to them. I thought, my God, that's really intense shloka. It's like shloka 11, something like that. Shloka 10, I don't know, in that section. 10th canto, chapter 88, verse 10. Pretty intense shloka. Ooh. So Krishna's not interested in what you give him. He wants what's behind your back. And when you start to give that, he becomes very friendly, And we have to understand that he's very smart fellow. He's not going to demand what's impossible for that devotee to give. Like that. It could be really heavy. Yeah.
And yet, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Krishna made him the emperor of the whole world. So, even though he told him, Harisheta Tanam Shanai, how do we understand that? And how, we seem to be saying, there are some ministries which say, if you become worship and become a member of our group, you're going to get rich and you're going to get happy and you're going to get first-class sense gratification, everything like that. But we're saying, no, you're going to get bhakti and it doesn't, and all those other things you'll become indifferent to. But we want to establish Dharma, we want to establish Krishna consciousness all over the world. So how can we do that if we're telling people that it doesn't matter to...
There's an interesting shloka. This is 10th canto, chapter 47, verse 18, where Sriji says that, what I was doing, I was Googling for Sakrit in the Veda base, and I got 2 shlokas. One is 10th canto, chapter 12, 10th canto, chapter 12, verse 13-9. See, Aghasura had just been killed. And Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami said that he got Sayuja Mukti. And Parikshit Maharaj was saying, God, he was a demon? How he got Sayuja Mukti? So, in Shloka 39, Shukadeva Goswami answered, if somebody takes this form of Krishna within his mind, then, by the power of the mind, then that immediately warrants one devotional service. Sri Krishna said, even Etyatma Sukhano Bhutyabhi, it's Krishna's nature to plunge his devotee in happiness, Vyudhasta Maya, which destroys the ignorance. Ya Antargatim, who thinks of Krishna within himself. Hikim Puna, what to speak of Aghasura? Interesting shloka. So, shloka 47, 10th canto 47:18 says, Yanano charata lila karana piyusha vibrut sakrat odana vidota dvandva dharma vinashta tada bigrihakatum bamadena mutrijadira bhavatahi havidhanga bhikshu charyam charanti. Sriji says this sloka. It's in Brahma Gita, okay? The wandering of the bee, song of the bee, like that. So this is a cool shloka. 10th canto, chapter 47, verse 18. It has two meanings. If somebody drinks the nectar of the pastime that Krishna performed, sakradodana viduta, drinking one drop of this nectar, dvandva dharma vinashta, all of the dualities become finished. So there's two translations. One is dvandva dharma vinashta and dvandva dharma avinashta. So there are two ways of looking at the Sanskrit there. Dvandva dharma vinashta, you become free from all dualities. Like the bhikshus, the babas, they become free from all dualities. Like this. Or dvandva dharma avinashta, that even if you're vanaprasthas, you're not going to become disturbed, bewildered by your dualities of your activities. Dvandva dharma avinashta. Sadabrikriha bamadina yutra. Such a person became completely fried with their wife, children, family, home, etc. Grihakatum dina mutra jadira. And they become dina, they become poor. Utraja, giving up. And one translation says dina. Dina utraja dira. One reading is dina, one reading is dira. They become sober-minded or they become poor. Bahava, many such persons. Iha, they came here to this world, Vrindavan. Vihanga, to live like birds. Bhikshu charyam charanti, begging for their maintenance here and there, like that. So it's cool. So Krishna, because Yudhishthira Maharaj had to set an example. Dhruva Raj also, he got Prishnigarbha, he got Dhruvaloka. Prishnigarbha says, very ambitious, yet I'm going to award it anyway. So he got the Dhruvaloka. And take the kingdom of your father also, 36,000 years. Now just subtract 3 zeros. That means Dhruva Raja, when he left his body, he was a young man, 36, 40 years old, something like that when he left his body. And he jumped into the Pushpa Vimana. He had a wife and 2 kids. And he left his body and went back to Godhead, described. So if you take 3 zeros away, then he was roughly our age, 36, 40 years old, like that. And he happily stepped into the Pushpa Vimana and went back to Godhead. So Dhruva Raj was very interesting. He was actually very ambitious at the beginning when he was a 5-year-old child. But he became a devotee, and Prishnigarbha gave him everything. So that's cool. Now if you look at Rajan-shasana Parva, it's the Parva in Mahabharata that's dealing with Rajan-shasana, kingly government, So Rajan-shasana Parva, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking Bhishma Dev all these questions, whatever happens to a king. And Bhishma Dev was replying. It's really interesting. And it's literally 1/3 or 1/4 of the entire Mahabharata. And Bhagavatam deals with it in 2 shlokas. The whole Mahabharata, Rajan-shasana Parva. 1/3, 1/4 of Mahabharata dealt with 2 shlokas. In Bhagavatam, 2 shlokas. It's very interesting stuff. So, one question was really good. That Yudhishthira says, now what is it? Karma or destiny? And Bhishma Pitamaha said, 50-50. Interesting. 50% karma and 50% destiny. Pretty cool. Basa Ghosh told me that. 50-50. 50% karma, 50% destiny. It was very good. And Rajan-shasana Parva, Bhishma's instructions to Yudhishthira, covering 1/3 or 1/4 of the Mahabharata, and Bhagavatam dealt with it in 2 shlokas. Covered the whole thing in 2 shlokas. Pretty interesting stuff, Yeah, so to set an example, Dhruva was basically, doing it out of dharma, out of duty, He accepted the opulence, he accepted kingly opulence like that out of a duty, but he was pretty fried with it. Another example of being fried was Yamunacharya, Alavandar, who defeated one court pundit and got half of the kingdom. And when you're a king, you got queens and you got so many ladies and all types of enjoyment. And he didn't like it, I mean, ultimately he got fried with it. And it was very interesting how they got him back, to become a devotee. How they got Alavandar back to become the head of the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Pretty interesting story, all about it. So Krishna is very intelligent. Our business is to love him. And his business is support, maintain, and facilitate. And he does his job much better than we do our job. At the same time, surrender means, my dear Lord, you do whatever you like, but you drive me to your lotus feet. We have to really mean it. Because sometimes when Krishna tweaks the circumstances, it could be painful. But the whole point is, of a Vaishnava and Vaishnavi, they're thinking that when life gives you lemons, make lemonade and give it to Krishna. So, the whole point is to make obstacles into opportunities, like that. So it's typical. Yeah. What else?
What are the two verses in Bhagavatam where they deal with Bhishma's instructions? Is that in the passing away of Bhishma Dev?
Nah, it's there in first canto, chapter 9, on the departure of Bhishma Dev. It's described that, like that. It's cool. And Rajan-shasana Parva, there are two things. First of all, that Krishna wanted Bhishma Pitamaha to preach to Maharaj Yudhisthira. He says, look, I'm getting ready to give up my body. And there's not two fingers where there's an arrow of Arjuna. My mind is disjointed. I'm in pain. How can I do this? Then take this benediction, Bhishma. Krishna says, as long as you speak, all the Vedas will be manifest in your mouth. And as long as you speak, the pain of the arrows will be finished. So when you hear Rajan-shasana Parva, it's just like very calm, very casual, no pain at all, no problem at all, like that. When you look at like Prabhupada's last work, like the 13th chapter of 10th canto, the last verses are just remarkably clear and very easy, And nobody would ever dream that here's a man lying on his deathbed and he's speaking the Bhagavatam like this. Nobody would ever think about it. The man's in pain. So the same, when you look at Rajan-shasana Parva, nobody ever dreamed that Bhishma Deva is lying in a bed of arrows, and not two fingers, there's not one arrow of Arjuna. That we never had. It was very interesting stuff. Rajan-shasana Parva is cool reading, Sri Parva, very heavy. You want something on Ekadasi night? You're having difficulty, staying awake late at night? Read Garuda Purana Sarodhara, the extracted essence of Garuda Purana. Scary stuff, and that'll keep you wide awake. Or Sri Parva, Gandhari's cavorting with Krishna, talking about the glories of each king that's dying dead in the battlefield. Your sleep is toast, Any of those two books, your sleep is toast, You read those things on a Saturday night or on an Ekadasi night, because the rest of the time, you lose your sleep real easy by reading Sri Parva. Yeah.
Is there a translation of Mahabharata that you would recommend?
The best one of Mahabharata is Parimal Publications. It actually has, and the publisher is Kanayalal Joshi, Gujarati Brahmin. And I bumped into him in Jawaharlal Nagar, in Delhi. And I said, Kanayalal-ji, you're doing a Brahmin's work, you're translating and publishing Shastra, that's good. But why don't you wait till the fruit becomes ripe before it drops, before you publish it, He did, some Sanskrit professor in Haryana, and he used somewhere else, Haryana was one, and somewhere else. You should have had South Indian Brahmins help you with it, like that, because English is the number 2 language from Hyderabad down south. And I said, you should have it, like this. He got one from UP and one from Haryana or something like that. And it's better because the translations don't. I got it, liked it because it was 9 volumes. It has the Devanagari there. If you need the Sanskrit, you can look at it. But sometimes it doesn't match the English properly. Now, if you need English only, then you get Kashari Mohan Ganguly's. English only. And that's shloka by shloka. The Shyamasundar Das had it on his website. Tiny or old, this, that, there. You can download the whole thing. 71 megabytes. You can download the whole thing. Kashari Mohan Ganguly's Mahabharata translation. But that's English only. Devanagari, if you need Devanagari too, then Parimal Publications is good. You know, like that. Or anything else? He's finished. Anybody else? Hey, anybody got any last minute questions? Ooh. Last minute questions like that?
Yeah,
Vaish's got one. Vaish's got a last minute question. Ooh.
You started the class with talking about the importance of abhyas.
Abhyasanam. Application.
Yeah, can you say more about abhyas and its importance and how to become fixed in it?
Abhyasanam. How to become more fixed into it. When it has to be abhyasanam, application has to be an undogged determination that I'm going to do it. You know, it's like that. Because application, this is why I like on my website sadhana charts. Because it's not what the Shastras tell you should do. It's not what the institution tells you to do. It's not what your friends tell you to do. You know, your Guru Janam or friends, peers tell you what to do. It's, what are you doing? You know, and Vaishnava and Vaishnavi of substance are ready. You know, like, look, they can see both sides of my hands. And we're ready to take inspiration from anybody, how to do our sadhana a little better than we did it yesterday. So it's not bad reading other people's charts, what they're doing. And it's good. It's good because it helps improve you. It helps you become a better person than you were yesterday. So abhyasanam has to be an undogged determination to get it done. And Krishna will help you. You know, just like my deities are pushing me to chant more, and I have no taste, and it's really rough to do it. So when I was bathing them, I was talking with them, and I said, hey, look, you're asking me to do this, but I'm falling on my face. Now, what makes you think I'm going to be successful when I haven't been successful thus far? And he said in the heart, you're going to increase your determination, and I'm going to help you. And I thought, you know, what can I do? I'm stuck, you know. We're falling on our face all the time. And then they'll tell you exactly what you need to do, because they see everything. Sarvata panipadam tat sarvatakshikshiromukam sarvata shrutima loke sarvamavriti tishtati. Krishna's everywhere. He sees everything. Everywhere is his eyes and ears, and he sees and hears everything. This way the Super Soul exists, covering everything. Bhagavad Gita says, so he's everywhere now. So Krishna sees everything. And he's Surida Sarva Bhutana. He said so in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5:29. He promised. He does it. He sees everything. He knows everything. You can't hide nothing. You can't hide nothing. And he really does it. The only thing I can think about abhyasanam is as undogged determination. And one has to set his priorities. Because if you're not going to do it, you have no shraddha. You have other priorities, other distractions. And it's like, I'm being distracted. Yeah, you have to do it a little bit more than you're doing now. It just means that we have to really get over our distractions. Hari is asking us to give out over our distractions. Jayadvaita Maharaj was saying that. Are you using the computer for Krishna's service, or the computer is using you? He's an example of that, you know. If it's using you, then it's stopping you from your service. And if you're using it for Hari's service, then that's all right, you know. So are you using it for Hari's service, or is it... Parthik told me this morning he gave up his computer. What was that? Because it was deviating his mind too much, you know, from his service like that he needed to get done. So it's not bad. And he told me that Jayadvaita Maharaj had said, God, if it wasn't for my service, I wouldn't even have it. I'd probably throw it away. I wouldn't even have it if it wasn't fun for my service, you know. So sometimes you need it for your service. But you're going to have to probably have time. Like anarthas. Is it really unwanted? You have to time it. You have to give it its time. Dovetailation means you're giving it its time slot. But of dovetailation means ultimately you've got to throw it. It's a question of when. So when you get paramdarsvanavartate, when you get a higher taste, then only you can throw it. You may have to keep it for a temporary. Then you have to give it its time slot. You know. All right, this distraction is there, so it shouldn't steal our mind all the time. We'll give it its time slot. Like that. That has to be done. Basically, one has to become indefatigably determined that I must become better. Our previous acharyas were better than us. We must become better. So how to become better? And Krishna will help us. And basically, so keeping Krishna as friend means all right, you see everything, you know everything, so what do you think? What is your opinion? The Lord will tell you in the heart what is opinion, what you have to do. But it's up to us to do it. Abhyasana means it's up to us to do it. To become indefatigably determined. Somehow or another. What are we getting and what's holding us back? What are we getting from it and what's holding us back? And is what's holding us back important or not? It's the 80-20 formula. You know, 80% of the work gets done at 20% of the time. And 20% of the work, if you threw it away, you probably wouldn't notice it. Is it really? Or like Jayadvaita Maharaj said, are you using the computer for Krishna? Or is the computer using you? We have to consider that, you know. Is it using us or can use it for Krishna's service? Or is it using us, you know? Who's eating who? That's very funny. Bhaktisiddhanta said that Jagannath is seeing everything. You're not seeing Jagannath. Jagannath is seeing you. You're not eating prasad. Prasad is eating you. That's interesting stuff, you know. Like, it's all interesting things, you know. Thank you, Vaish. That's all I can think of. You can think anything further to add?
Oh, I like it.
Anything further? Has indefatigable determination. What am I getting out of it? What's holding me back? You know? Is it artha or anartha? You know? Is it good? Artha, is it beneficial? Or simply a distraction? You know, what is it? You know? And you never really know. It's very interesting how Hari sometimes will do it. What is it? Not a blade of grass moves without Krishna. So if it's happening, I must deserve it. Now, how do we see Krishna's hand in it, you know? And how to take an obstacle and turn to an opportunity, you know, like that. When life gives you lemon, make lemonade and give it to Krishna. How to do it? It's not easy answer. But sometimes when Krishna forces you, you got no other choice but to see a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know, to see a silver lining in everything. Well, after all, it could be worse. We have to think, after all, it could be worse. You know, it could be worse. We could have a lot more problem than that, you know. It could be worse. We have to think like that. Hare Krishna. I haven't got anything. We'll use this for it. Hey, Vaishnav. Another thing is, hey, can we do parikrama of them?
Sure.
Can we do kirtana parikrama of them?
Yeah. So we'll put all the books away, and then we're going to put Maharaj's deities and do parikrama.
The deities really enjoy that. I noticed that they really smile a lot. So I designed it in such a way. I put a battery behind it, you know, so that you can do parikrama without the power cords. And that they really like that a lot. As long as the pujaris give the prasadam of the deity to somebody, then Krishna will tolerate their existence. Didn't come. spike the punch. Yeah, good. Got one bottle. Here. This is a turn number. Here's a turn number. Where's my sheet? He's left.
Sure. We have a 10
Huh? Eating, sleeping, meeting, and defending?
Yes. I got a traffic. I got a speeding ticket on the way.
You got a speeding ticket?
Yeah.
Ooh, the cop stopped me and gave you a ticket. God, how much is the damage?
You can't tell now, but it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot?
He clocked me at like 80.
Huh?
80, over 80.
So you're going to drive over 80?
Yeah.
Then 80-20 rules.
80, 20. It's going to be 20% of my net worth.
Otherwise,
It's going to be a big number. That's a very expensive class. Hey, Vaishi, gotta leave Kirtan.
We have China Writ to distribute everything. Should we take now? He's very good at all that.
He's good.
He's good at everything. He'll take the computer apart and fix it from the inside.
No, not the computer part. This is my coat. My coat, it just makes it a little, about an inch wider. This is my lovely coat. Here, see, it's
Hare Krishna.
just a little more. No, they just open it up now. Hey, we're enough. We still got something left over. How are you going to do it? Huh? We still got turnaround that's left over.
4 people will be coming.
Who? What? Hey, Vaishi, do the kirtan. Do it.
Okay. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatyarishatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namashreshtam manamapi shachiputramatra sarupam rupam tasya gajamarupari maturim goshtavatim radha kundam girivaramoho radhika madhavasham prapto yasa pratitikapaya shri gurum dham natosmi Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Where are the flowers? Flowers. Vando Mui Savadana Mate. Bando Mui Savadana Mate. Jahara prashade bhai bhavato riyaja Krishna prapti hoy ja hoy te Krishna prapti hoy ja hoy te Guru Mukha Padma Vaikya Chitete Koriya Aikya Anakori ho mane asha Anakori ho mane asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Sayu Tamagati Je prashade pure sarvasha Je prashade pure sarvasha loje, janme janme Prabhu se. Chakudan dilo je, janme janme Prabhu se. Divya Gyan Rire Prakashito. Divya Gyan Rire Prakashito. Prema Bhakti Ja Hoite Abidya Vinasa Jate. Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avidya Vinasa Jate. Vidigai Jahara Charito. Vidigai Jahara Charito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janada Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janada Bandhu. Lokana Lokera Jivana. Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Ha ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha More Padachaya. Ha ha Prabhu Koda Doya Deha More Padachaya. Ibijashku Shikti Bhuvana. Ibijashku Shikti Bhuvana. Ha Prabhu Koda Doya Deha More Padachaya. Ibejashku Shikti Bhuvana. Goi Pari Loilo Sharana. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatyarishatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jeev jago, Gora Chandra bole. Show them where it is. Kota nidra jao maya pisha chira kole. Jao Maya. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bhajiva boliya eshe Shangshara bhitare. More songbooks. If you don't know it, get the songbook. Bhuliya rohile tumi abijara bare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Tomare loite ami huenu avatara. Ami bina bandhu aro ke ache tomara. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Enekshia Shaudhi Maya Nashibaro Lagi Harinam Maha Mantra Lao Tumi Magi Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thakur Bhakati Vinoda Prabhu Sharane Poriya Shehani Nama Mantra Loelo Magia Haribo. Leave the boasts alone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Go Premanande. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Stotara Shishi Mara Pai Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Stotara Shishi Mara Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Sagaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Garadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vriniki. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki. Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki. Shri Jagannath Puri ki, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi ki, Jamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Go Premanande Haribo. Could you read the translation, please, for the Arundaya Kirtan Part 2? Need the microphone. It's broadcast.
Lord Gauranga is calling. Wake up, sleeping souls. Wake up, sleeping souls. You have slept so long on the lap of the witch Maya. You came into this world of birth and death, saying, My Lord, I will certainly worship you. But you have forgotten this promise and remained in great ignorance. I have descended just to save you. Except for me, who is your friend? I have brought the medicine to eradicate the disease of illusion. Now pray for this Harinama Maha Mantra and take it. Bhaktivinoda fell at the lotus feet of Lord Gauranga, and after begging for the holy name, he received that Maha Mantra. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that when this living entity is in the womb of the mother, sometimes when it becomes conscious in the beginning of the third trimester, it starts to move and everything, then it feels like, what am I doing in this horrible situation? And it prays, I know I made a mistake, Lord. It prays very, very intensely to the Lord. When I come out, I'm going to serve you, I'm going to worship you. But then when it comes out, the baby gets surrounded by relatives. It loses memory. It's so difficult from birth, and it just forgets. So Lord Chaitanya has come to reclaim us all, remind us of our promise, and tell us that we can very easily fulfill our vow if we just chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So this Maha Mantra makes spiritual life very easy. What was done in previous ages by difficult mystic meditation or huge expensive sacrifices or very meticulous deity worship can be accomplished very easily in this age just by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
Thank you very much. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji ki
Jai.
Mahaprabhu ki Jai.
Jai.
Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev ki
Jai.
And now could you please read the translation for the Prashad Sevaya?
Find the page. Do you know what page?
Not off the top of my head.
It's Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Well, you just start explaining what it is.
53. I know the old version that we used to recite out loud all the time.
Then just say the old version.
I will. Let me see if it's the same here. O Lord, this material body is a place of ignorance, and the senses are a network of paths to death. Somehow we have fallen into this ocean of material sense enjoyment, and of all the senses, the tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable. It is very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world. But you, dear Krishna, are very kind to us and have given us such nice prasadam just to control the tongue. Now we take this prasadam to our full satisfaction and glorify you, Shri Shri Radha and Krishna, and in love call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda.
Can you say something, please, about the importance of taking prasad?
In Bhagavad Gita it says that Yagya Sishtashana Santo Muchante Sarvakilbishai Bunjate Te Tukam Papam Ye Pachantyatma Karanat, that devotees are relieved from sins by taking the remnants of sacrifice. And others who eat food prepared for their enjoyment without sacrifice are eating sin, actually. And the cycle of sacrifice is explained in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And that we should live for Krishna, we should dedicate everything to Krishna. This is yoga, karma yoga. This is our appropriate way of life. And those who are enjoying the results of what's provided by the divine in the world without offering sacrifice are actually thieves, right? They're actually stena eva saha. They're actually thieves. So we should actually prepare food to serve Krishna, and then He's so merciful that He gives us prasadam, so we don't have to starve, we don't have to be engaged in very severe penances and fasting and so forth. We can take Krishna's prasadam and not be committing any sins.
Jive bile bishaya shagare Dharma jeti vaiti Loba mai sudurmati Taki jita katina shangshare Krishna varadoya moy Kori bare jiva jai Shaprasananati lubai Shayanamrita pao Radha Krishna gunagao Preme Tako Chaitanya Nitai Jai Shri Bhagavat Mahaprasad Ki Jai Go Premanande Hari Hari Bo. So we'd like to welcome our guests, anyone who's here for the first time or the second time. We'd like to thank Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji Ki Jai. We'd like to thank B.V. Madhava Maharaj. B.V. Madhava Maharaj.
I'll find out.
Swami. Swamiji. We'd like to thank you. Just by a moment's association with someone who has taking whatever's behind their back and giving it all to Krishna can profoundly move us to do the same. So although Maharaj is ignoring me, I'll go ahead. Thank you very much, Maharaj, for coming here and giving us your association, traveling around the world just for the sake of the lowly householders of the world. We deeply appreciate it, more than we can express in words. Your profound learning, dedication to Srila Prabhupada's movement over so many years, given your whole life. And now we can see the fruit of that in your personality. So just by seeing you, we feel deeply benefited. Please don't mind, but that's how we feel. And please come back and bless us as soon as possible. Maharaj today is leaving for Berkeley. He's going to spend the night there at the Berkeley Temple, give class tonight, and then he's off to Arizona tomorrow. All right, you can go to Seattle. Seattle tomorrow. Arizona, Seattle, what's the difference? So Seattle tomorrow, and then we'll see you, if we don't see you in the future, we'll see you in the pasture, right? That's Maharaj's line. I'm just picking it up. We'll see you in Kartik. And Maharaj has ordered some amla trees for us here at ISV, because amla is a very, very auspicious tree, and the fruits are auspicious. He wears some amla beads around his neck. He's also given me some. And I got in big trouble last year because I wasn't wearing them in Kartik. I never heard the end of it, so now I'm wearing the beads around my neck. Amla. Amla. 4 trees are coming. I said that part. And we'll start a Amla Grove before you get here the next time. So you can wander in the Amla Grove next time, or sleep under the Amla trees. We'll see. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Krishna. By the mercy of Veshikapu, we yesterday had the opportunity to bring Maharaj to Stanford. We were celebrating a birthday of a devotee in Stanford. There was like 15-20 people were there. And Maharaj, by the time Maharaj went into the car and gave the program, Maharaj was just freely flowing so much Krishna consciousness. Everyone was amazed and so much touched by Maharaj, like spontaneous Krishna consciousness. He told many stories, many jokes. It was wonderful, and we came back in the night. So I'd like to thank Maharaj for coming to Stanford and giving your blessings.
Haribo! Anyone here is a first-time guest? Yes. Oh, please introduce yourselves. We'd like to welcome you properly.
My name is Satya. I'm visiting here for 2 weeks, and I'm going to be there 1 more week.
Where are you from?
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Welcome. Let's welcome Satya.
Hari Om.
Hare Krishna.
Hi, my name is Govind. I came from Hyderabad for 3 weeks to work here, and I'm going back today.
Jai, welcome from Hyderabad. And you can pass to Mataji just back there.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm Geeta. I stay in Pleasanton. So I actually went to San Jose ISKCON. And then somebody told me that you guys are not here. So then I found this address and I'm coming here for
I
the first
see. You
time.
drove all the way down there and then came back, huh?
Yes.
Thank you for your diligence. Maharaj was speaking this morning about how our devotional service needs to be indefatigable. So thank you for hunting us down. We're so happy to have you. This is Damodar Vamsidhari Prabhu. He's our communications director. If you like, he'll take your information, and that way you can be up on all the latest festivals and everything that's going on here. Thank you very much.
One more anecdote on Govind Prabhu. He is very good friend of Vedavit Prabhu.
Is that right?
Yeah, and Vedavit Prabhu has been, Yep. Yeah, so they are very, old friends. So,
Yeah. Very nice, very nice. Anybody who's a friend of Vedavit's is a friend of ours. And now we're going to have Mahaprasadam. It'll be served right in this very room. It's just coming out. A couple of us have to have a meeting to attend. I think we're going to do that in the back room. It's being set up now. We're going to take prasadam while we're starting the meeting because there's a lot to talk about. And so there's a program tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock p.m. here every Sunday. And then on Wednesday night starts at 6 p.m. And there's a lot more programs happening around the area. Some of them happen through conference calls on telephone. And you can find all that information out if you get connected through Damodar Prabhu. He'll let you know right there. And thank you very much. Go Premanande Haribo.